Hi students, today we're going to work on some mixed media artwork. Alright, so last lesson in that video we considered the purpose of art in society and we looked at how the class structure of ancient Athens impacted people's day-to-day lives. So today we're going to start working on an art piece where we are building our skills in drawing human beings. And we're also extending our learning in social studies into our artwork. So what materials are we going to need? So we all have different materials at home. I'm using watercolor paper and watercolor paints with Sharpie markers and wax crayons. You can use just regular paper with pencil crayons, markers. You could use colored paper. If you have orange paper, that would be awesome for a background. So just go with what you have at home, but we're trying to do mixed media. So we're trying to use more than one material. So we're going to use markers and pencil crayons, or paints and markers. Okay? All right. So step one is to generate some ideas for what you are going to draw on your Greek pottery. So I would like your pottery to answer the question, in what ways can we participate in our democracy? I was really interested in the idea that we looked at last week, where archaeologists were able to look at ancient Greek pottery and they were able to tell sort of what people did back then and what was important in the society. So I wanted to think about if there was an archaeologist looking at our time period, how would they see us participating in our democracy? So that is what we're going to represent on our Greek vases. So once you've come up with some ideas, you're going to create a sketch. I am using watercolor paper and I'm just sketching directly onto my watercolor paper. So if you're using regular paper, then you can also just go directly sketch onto your regular paper. I have provided some templates for the different shapes that Greek pottery would have been made in. And so I'm looking at a reference image of one of those templates. And I'm just kind of doing my own interpretation of what one of those vases would be like. So I am pressing lightly with my pencil and I'm just trying to get the shapes blocked in properly, how I would like them. And once I have them in, then I kind of can go over them a little bit more with more pressure. And now what I'm doing is I'm adding the horizontal lines, which will show me where my geometric patterns are going to go. So I've blocked off some horizontal lines, and on the round part of the bottom part of the vase, I've created kind of curved lines to sort of give the illusion that this is a curved surface. So now that I have that, I need to start drawing my representation of how I feel like I can participate in our democracy. So I've provided some reference images of human beings wearing sort of Greek style of clothing, and I'm using that to block in sort of the basic shapes of a human. So I've done a circle for the head, and an upside down triangle for the torso, the body. And then I'm drawing a stick figure right now. So I'm drawing sticks for the arms and sticks for the legs. And I'm not going to leave my artwork as a stick figure. I'm just using the stick lines to show me where I should draw the arms and legs, and I can work on the placement see if there's something wrong before I move on and spend a lot of time. So now I'm going and drawing the face. I've done kind of a cross to show me where to place the eyes and the nose and the mouth. The eyes go on the horizontal cross line. And I'm just looking at the reference image for kind of what kind of hairstyle to draw. So I'm trying to draw and make my artwork look like it is in ancient Athens style, but it's about a modern subject. All right, so I'm now going over my, it's kind of hard to see right now, but I'm going over my stick figure lines and I'm making the arms look like actual arms. So I'm basically drawing a line above and below where I drew the stick figure lines. And I am drawing a person holding a cell phone. And so in my opinion, well, for me, I guess, the way that I can participate in our democracy is by being informed and knowing what's going on, reading the news, and being responsible in the information that I share. So I think about the information I read online, I'm critical of it, I wonder about it, I try to learn more if I don't know a lot about it. So that's kind of the way that I feel like I can participate in our democracy. Obviously there's voting, but I know that you guys are not able to vote yet, so think about something else, another way that you can participate in democracy. So here I go, just drawing the shoulders and the arms. I have the cell phone there, and how I can draw the clothing is because I'm looking at a reference image of someone wearing that style of clothes. So luckily they're wearing kind of like a long dress, and so I don't have to go and draw the separate legs. So I'm just drawing kind of, as you can see, my light stick figure lines are still there, and I'm just drawing around them. So I've gone and I've erased the stick figure lines, and now I'm gonna draw some of the details of like the different folds on the fabric of the clothing, and that's what I'm working on right now. All right, so I thought about this image and I was like, from first glance, you wouldn't be able to tell that that's a cell phone in her hand. And you wouldn't be able to tell like what I said about how I'm like thinking about what I'm reading and I'm trying to stay informed and trying to learn. So I'm gonna draw these little thought bubbles and I'm gonna actually have words in them. So you do not need to have words on your art piece, but if you feel like it will help the viewer understand the message that you're trying to communicate, then you can choose to do that if you like. We will be writing artist statements about what our art piece is about, but I just felt like it would be hard to tell what that is if I didn't have that. All right, so there's my thought bubbles, and now I'm going and adding in some geometric patterns and designs to add some interest to the design in the top and bottom part of the vase. So let's fast forward as I do that. All right, so now I've got my sketch all completed. So I have my image in the middle of how I can participate in democracy. And then at some point on my drawing, I have the geometric designs to add some interest. So now I'm gonna add color.